Oh, hello everyone! Welcome back to Cruelty Free A to Z, a judgment-free zone where we learn all about what it means to be cruelty-free. So today we are going to be doing something a little different, and we are going to be talking about two brands and a controversy surrounding their cruelty-free status. So I got all of this information, I'm going to be very upfront, from Cruelty Free Kitty, and I am going to be linking all of the articles that I used down below so you can see they really did extensive research on this, and it's a great resource, but I just wanted to explain it in video format for you. None of this is new. These articles were written in 2019, but some of these brands, well, one in particular really is still advertising itself as being cruelty-free, so this is still something that you as a consumer need to watch out for. So I'm going to start off by talking about Charlotte Tilbury. C-Tills. Lil Tilly. Someone who I consider to be one of the first ladies of makeup today, along with Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona. We'll talk about all of that in a later video, so stay tuned. But basically, from December 2018 to January 2019, and then December 2019 to January 2020, Charlotte Tilbury did this new thing where they wanted the Chinese market to be able to test their products. Up until then, they had only been able to buy Charlotte Tilbury online, and that is cross-border purchasing. If you watch my video on certifications and logos, you'll see one, why China is so important to the cruelty-free market, and two, the kind of laws and regulations and rules surrounding animal testing in China, and what customers are and aren't allowed to do, what testing may or may not be required. But basically, to summarize one point, if the consumers bought online via e-commerce, the products themselves didn't have to be tested on animals. So up until December 2018, Charlotte Tilbury's products could only be bought online for the Chinese consumer. And then they decided that they were going to partner with Little Bee, which is a pop-up store in China. And Charlotte Tilbury decided that they were going to allow the Chinese consumer to test their products before they were able to buy it, because as I said, up until then, they were only able to buy it online. You would have to buy a product without being able to test it in person. So Little Bee gave them this opportunity to allow the consumer to test their products, and they only supplied Little Bee with enough merchandise for consumers to test the products. They were not able to purchase any of their products in store. They didn't sell any of their products physically in China. However, they sent enough products that customers were able to test the products out for themselves, decide if they wanted to buy. They had makeup artists there giving makeovers. So again, customers could see the products for themselves. Now, this was their attempt at trying to go through a loophole in China by the fact that they weren't actually selling the product in mainland China. They weren't manufacturing it in mainland China. The customer would still have to purchase it online, thereby bypassing the need for animal testing. However, when Cruelty Free Kitty looked into this a little bit further, they kind of determined that because the products were there in mainland China, and if anything went wrong, there was a customer complaint, there was a health concern, there technically was still a risk that those products could be tested on animals, even though they weren't being sold. What they say is that the risk is never zero. So while the risk is very slight that the products would be tested on animals, it would be post-market testing. Watch the video on certifications and logos to find out what that means. While the risk would be very slight, again, it's not zero. There technically still is a risk. So they are willing to risk that their products would be tested on animals. They're willing to take that chance. So therefore, Cruelty Free Kitty determined that they are not fully cruelty-free anymore. There have not been any updates, or I have not seen any updates either on Cruelty Free Kitty or anywhere else on a change in this status or a change in this practice. Again, the pop-up store went from December 2018 to January 2019 and December 2019 to January 2020. I guess because of COVID, there wasn't a chance to see if it would happen again this winter, but who knows, they might still be open to it. They're basically saying, hey, we're willing to take the minuscule chance that our products might actually be tested on animals. So there are no updates as of yet. So as of right now, Charlotte Tilbury, by many, are technically still considered not cruelty-free. Now, you as a consumer may still consider them to be cruelty-free because they themselves do not test on animals. They don't contract any third-party suppliers that would test on animals. Again, they don't physically sell their products in mainland China, but by nature of the fact that they were there was, again, that risk. So that is up to you. I'm just here to give you all the information. I personally will not be purchasing any makeup from Charlotte Tilbury until there is an update on that. So the next brand we are going to be talking about is Wet n Wild. So in May of 2019, Cruelty Free Kitty published an article that they discovered that Wet n Wild had been secretly selling their products in mainland China. So they were found in a drugstore and they had a Chinese retailer. They reached out to Wet n Wild prior to the publishing of their article and asked if this was true, and Wet n Wild denied it and said, no, we are not selling our products in mainland China. We wouldn't do that. However, Cruelty Free Kitty acquired proof through photos and other information from outside sources that this was in fact untrue, and they had proof that Wet n Wild was selling in mainland China, which is one of the criteria for being fully cruelty-free, so therefore they did not meet it, and they lied about it. After Cruelty Free Kitty published that article, Wet n Wild then kind of retracted what they had said, and then we issued a statement that they actually knew that they had retail partners in mainland China, that they did know that they were selling there, but that they were still committed to not testing on animals, etc., etc. Oh, this is their statement that they put out after it was revealed that they were selling in mainland China. Wet n Wild does not test on animals. Wet n Wild is a global brand for beauty lovers inclusive of all ages, ethnicities, skin colors, ideologies, and economic statuses. Cruelty-free has and will remain a key pillar of our brand. In 2018, Watsons, which is a drugstore in China, began offering our products to beauty enthusiasts in China via a pilot program with 30 stores. Wet n Wild products sold in China are domestically manufactured in China and as such do not require animal testing. Since 2014, China no longer requires animal testing for domestic non-special use cosmetics. Wet n Wild products were able to enter the Chinese market, maintaining our commitment to providing customers cruelty-free, high-quality, on-trend products they can feel good about buying and wearing. As a trusted leader in cruelty-free beauty, we will continue working closely with the Chinese government and all governments to adhere to our strict guidelines for cruelty-free beauty globally, and that was issued by Stefano Curti, their global president. So obviously, as we know, if you're going to invoke China's rules and regulations and you're going to say that you're so knowledgeable on them, be knowledgeable on all of them. That only applies to pre-market testing, not post-market testing. Your products are still subject to that. And again, this did not come out until it was already discovered that they were doing that. So, oh, Wet n Wild. Hard yikes. We will see. Hopefully they change their ways. We'll see what happens, I guess. But still sold in mainland China, and they still are to this day, I believe. I haven't seen an update since 2019. There hasn't been, so I assume that they still are selling there. Additionally, prior to that, they were no longer Leaping Bunny certified. Originally, they were certified under their parent company, Marc, but Marc Leaping Bunny status was revoked. They did not recommit to the Leaping Bunny program, possibly because they wanted to sell in mainland China. And according to Cruelty Free Kitty's findings, a similar situation actually occurred in 2012 with Marc, where their PETA status was under investigation, and PETA determined that they could in fact keep their status. They weren't selling in mainland China then, but they were under investigation then, and back in 2012, and clearly there's a similar situation going on right now. Well, in 2019. While there has been no update since 2019 that I personally have seen, they are not listed as a cruelty-free brand on Cruelty Free Kitty. However, before I found out this information, I originally thought that Wet n Wild was a cruelty-free brand. So I purchased a product from them in either December of 2020 or January of 2021, so about a month and a half ago, very recently. And you can see on this, they have the PETA logo that says cruelty-free. So they very much are still advertising themselves and promoting themselves as a cruelty-free brand. So they really are trying to pull one over on their consumer. So if you don't consider selling their products in mainland China as a necessary criteria for being cruelty-free, then I guess Wet n Wild is cruelty-free. But if you do consider that as potentially subjecting the products to animal testing, subjecting the animals to testing, then this is in fact a lie. and it is not cruelty free. So that is really important to note. So Wet n Wild, girl, what are you doing? All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, contact me via email, via Instagram, anywhere you want. Let me know what you want to see, because I am here for you and all your cruelty-free needs. All right, I will see you next time.